TitleMatchNetwork.com.
What caused, I guess, Vince to come to one of the house shows? There was supposedly you guys were going to go on strike or something like that. It was rumored in the sheets that the Kliq was going to hold Vince, right?
We're going to go on strike.
Right. And,
no, I remember it was Indianapolis, and we just asked him. We just said, because the angles, the show, there was no strike. It was me saying, I think what we're doing right now, angle wise and stuff like that, which eventually turned into the WWF attitude.
Right.
Was me saying, whatever we're doing right now is wrong. It stinks. So we just said, can you come down and let's figure out a new way the company's got to go in a different direction, and we came down, we all just met in the hotel, and we went through the whole list, and he brought it all. He goes, okay, I want you to go through this list and you tell me who you think can work and who can't.
Right.
So we just went through the list and did that. No one got fired. No one got hired,
right.
anything like that. He just wanted an idea. And most of the guys, again, people that didn't like us, or the guys, like Candido was a shit, he can work. If the fucker would stop worrying about what his girlfriend's doing, and be in denial about it because, whatever, he's got to stay focused because the kid could work,
right.
But I mean, it was just a meeting to go over, and we told him, you ain't got to fly in. It's just something you need to think about. No. He did all that stuff on his own, because he liked it. Vince liked it for years. You have to understand, for years and years, this guy had a bunch of guys who were making a ton of money that were lazy. Back in the day, the Hogans, the Beefcakes, all them guys, they were all lazy. None of them cared. They're all too busy getting, messed up, doing whatever,
right.
doing their thing, and making a shitload of money. Now, for the first time ever, Vince had a bunch of young guys, hungry guys that ate, slept, and drank the wrestling business, and then cared, and when he cared enough to, and weren't afraid of him. Nobody else called him, and he used to always tell me, because the problem is nobody tells me anything. He goes, I hear something, I hear 3 months later, 4 months later. He said, if you just tell me. So I just started being the guy that was honest with him. Something stunk. I said, that stinks. It sucks.
Right.
Why? Because it's this, that, that. Really? Yeah. I mean, I can remember, before, I can remember him finding me $10,000 because stuff gauzed down my bike shorts on one of the Raws.
Right.
And him threatening to fine me and me saying, it's funny. That's funny. Had this big conversation. By the end of the conversation, he takes back the fine and says, we're going there. And going there is now what you see now. The girls, the cuss words, all that stuff, and I had said, and I said to him, Vince, you're 50, at that time he was 50 years old. I said, you're 50 years old. You're trying to tell me what's cool. You're 50 and I'm 30.
Right.
You don't know what's cool anymore. I said, plus all the boys were laughing at what I did. He goes, well, yeah, but that's the boys. And I said, but who are the boys? I said, you don't think every one of those guys was a wrestling fan? I said, that's what wrestlers are. They're wrestling fans that eventually turn into wrestlers.
Right.
I said, and the people were laughing at what I did. And that's eventually he just said, God, I think, and now he's, going on to what he's going on to. So he liked the fact that he had these guys that cared enough to even go at a house show and say, okay, yeah, we're in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, but that's a horrible show. It sucks. The finishes aren't good. This isn't happening. That's not happening. You're pushing this guy that's a jabroni, or whatever. When he doesn't care, he doesn't like the job. He bitches about everything, and he's not even good.
Right.
And that's when he started just, I mean, that's like, it was, years or like a year before that, but like Lex, he was going to push Lex, but then eventually he looked at him and goes, guys, Lex hated the job,
right.
Hated being on the road, didn't like anything. And then ultimately had the whole world at his feet. And, and eventually, Vince, eventually saw that, I guess, and just sort of put him in a team or did whatever. But the wrestling business is full of those kind of guys. And it's amazing how many guys go, I want to be in this business. Vince McMahon, make me a millionaire, but I don't want to do anything.
Right.
It's just, it's not how you do it. So we were just guys that took the initiative.
TitleMatchNetwork.com